Hey, wow. Mornings go really fast now that I'm starting at 8. Big Zebra's here. What's up, Big Zebra?
What is up? I
And this,
somehow got on the wrong StreamYards link.
well, that's because I probably put on the wrong freaking link. That's why. Doing too
Okay.
many things at once. That's my problem. I put the, actually, if you want to be on the panel, everyone, I just threw the link in the chat. That's what I did. I just threw the link in the chat. So if you do want to come on the show, then the link is in the chat. I'm looking at it right now. So
Well, for someone who's got plenty of shit to do, you seem to get a lot done, so no complaints here.
I do feel, and even though I know kind of that I do a lot, I talked to someone like Jonathan M.S. Pierce, and the man writes books. He does interviews. He does very long form blog articles, and that man's a machine. Of course, he doesn't. He's not working now either. But even when he was working, what's up, John Hudson? The man is just a machine, cranking out material.
Hey, it's John Hudson. Can we
Good.
hear you, Mr. Hudson? There he is.
I hope everyone's doing well. Doc Fearsome. What's up, Jesse?
Speaking to your talk on the Buffalo Tops Not So Friendly Markets massacre,
Yeah.
there was a strange thing. Somebody on one of the news channels this morning posted a list of all the cities where there had been mass shootings.
Yeah.
And which is defined by 4 people shot or more.
Yeah.
And they had 200. And of course, this is early May.
Mm-hmm.
And holy crap.
Yeah. I heard that he got the ammunition from Pennsylvania because the ammunition that he used wasn't legal in New York State, and that's the problem. One of the problems in here is because every state has its own gun laws, and
Yes.
so especially if you're living close to the border to a crazy state, then you can get crazy weapons.
Yes, and strangely, passing from one state to another is relatively easy in the United States.
Yes.
Making your gun laws meaningless.
And he was in a psych ward basically for a day and a half because he had made threats. Once again, getting admitted to a psych ward for a day and a half, there has to be something really wrong, something really going on. Yeah.
But this comes back to mental health care. It comes back to health care in general. I mean, he's there for a day and a half and probably released and nothing ever done afterwards.
Never. Yeah. Very
I'd like
limited.
to point out, if this same guy had been a frequent farter, he would have been put on the no-fly list. But he's in a mental health institution, and he's not put on the you can't buy an effing gun list.
Yeah.
And hey,
420.
Okay, he's muted himself. Well, we all
he's
knew.
He's followed.
Hello, 420. Hello. Hi, your voice is kind of weird, 420. Give it another try.
What's up, Tobin?
Tobin.
Good morning. Hello.
Yes, I think that's better, 420, but your voice is very muted. Maybe your microphone is at a funny angle or something. Hey, while we have a lull,
yes,
why don't we post another link to Andy's latest Only Sky story?
That would be nice. I would appreciate that.
And remind you to go there and share on Facebook.
Yes.
And Twitter. It's easy to do and fun to say.
So I just want to say, so D has a 2-part statement here. Being that every night right-wing accusation is an admission I saw late last week using Roe versus Wade and the basis they are using to reverse it, which is a right to privacy. That reasoning can then be used to drumroll, take away guns from citizens. What would make it easier to make this a fascist country? Here's the thing. at least in my opinion, well, from what I've seen of what the fascists are doing or what the right wing does. They'll use one set of arguments to get what they want, and then another set of arguments to prevent what they don't want to occur. So they'll talk about states' rights to get what they want, like with Roe versus Wade. But then in like a year or two, we'll see things like a right to personhood law being passed, so that every state would have to then outlaw abortions, something along those lines. Their arguments are meant to befuddle. It's basically, as my ex-father-in-law would say, bullshit befuddles brains, and so their arguments are just bullshit befuddling brains.
And it's going to open up a whole can of worms if it's released. I mean, if it's reversed, this is just the beginning.
I saw The Family. It was not. I think maybe it was last night. No, it wasn't last night, because I watched the lunar eclipse last night.
That was cool.
The other night, I watched The Family, and there was a guy who said that he intentionally made up the one issue, single voter issue. How did he say that? Damn it, I'm messing it up. Single issue voters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he actually thought up each of those points, and it's, I don't know, it's crazy.
There are a lot of people who are lying for Jesus out there,
Yeah.
And they'll just make up stories. These testimonials that you see, Christian testimonials or evangelical testimonials, or crap that you see on Fox News about, I heard or people say, it's just bullshit meant to like trick people who can't do critical thinking, right?
Well, I got into a debate with some people on the YouTube about they were saying that Christians aren't as bad as Muslims as far as their craziness and stuff. I'm like, but them countries have laws that allow them to, stone a woman for adultery and stuff. I'm like, do you think if we had them same laws, it would happen with the Christoid fascists here? And it was just hypothetical, but everybody was beating up on me. Oh, Muslims are so much worse, and I'm just saying, if we had the same laws, would you think it would deter? I mean, do you think it would change their minds? Just
well,
a yes or no.
If you're making that argument, and especially as the midterm coming up, and especially as the main problem that we're facing is, of course, the Christo-fascists. People who are making those kind of arguments, they're either useful fools, or they're just intentionally feeding into a certain narrative, right? Kind of like so it's like, you can make all kinds of silly arguments, but the main threat facing the country is white evangelical Christians. It's as simple as that. Now, then the main problem in Saudi Arabia might be, obviously Islamic fundamentalists. But here in this country that has well over 1,000 nuclear warheads, right? That is the world's largest economy. Yeah, maybe you should be effing more concerned about the problem, about the wolf at the door, as against to arguing this BS. Fucking.
I just believe if the laws accommodated things like that to happen, they would happen here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Sam, you sound awfully soft, brother.
Okay, let me see if I can fix it.
All right.
Maybe more alcohol is required.
Maybe.
Because you're in Australia. And Australia runs on beer.
I did go to the women's rights rally on Saturday down at Boston Common. The girlfriend came down with me, and we had who is it? Maura Healey, who's the Attorney General, probably going to be our next governor, spoke. Great speaker. Markey Senator Markey was there too, and he this is the first time I've seen Markey speak, and he get what I thought was a great speech. Definitely a lot of Boston, pro Boston, we're the cradle of liberty kind of stuff, and all you other states would just be sucking ass if it wasn't for us. Kind of,
Is this any better?
That is
Yes, it is.
Oh, thank God. Thank fictitious God. So what I wanted to say is, how can anyone deny that there aren't fundamentalists in the United States that, if there weren't laws preventing them, wouldn't stone gay people and wouldn't take the Bible very literally?
Yeah.
Like,
I've heard
it literally is only that religion hasn't infiltrated government to the level that it has in those countries because those governments began as religious. So, that's the only difference, really.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday on Seamus's show, and I didn't know this, but 6 of the Supreme Court justices are Catholic.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yeah, dude.
There was a long period of tons of Catholic lawyers, because there used to be a tradition of being trained by Jesuits in whatever high school or college they went to.
Mm-hmm.
And you ended up with very well-educated folks. You wouldn't necessarily agree with them, but very capable, especially at law.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's definitely a deeper pool of talent with Jesuit trained people, than in Protestant. A lot of and I'm gonna grossly oversimplify Protestantism. It's like you don't have to think too much. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's funny. And Protestants have the better bake sales between Catholics and there's no question. You got your lemon squares, your date squares. They're all at the Protestant bake sales.
Yeah. The thing I know about Catholics is it's okay to do cocaine on Saturday night as long as you show up to church on Sunday morning.
So Jesse Beer, you got called a bad parent because you're pro-choice. So who called you that? Was it a family member? Was it just someone on this? I mean, I'm just curious about who threw that accusation at you. We lost Tobin.
He's gone.
He'll be back, maybe.
Let's see here.
Yeah, you guys need to tune into Seamus's show when they talk. He had John and Barry. I think they're both Irish.
Yeah. Barry's a good guy, smart guy.
Very smart. I that's the first time I caught Seamus because it's usually on the Pod Bean or something like that.
Right.
And it was a YouTube thing, so it was really great conversation they had.
And Barry,
do you have a link for this show?
It's on the Free Thought Prophet YouTube channel.
Free Thought Prophet. Thank you.
Free Thought Prophet. Yeah. And Barry Purcell, he's a writer and really grounded in the class. I believe his undergraduate was in the classics, to tell you the truth, and really fast. And like many an Irishman, he talks really fast, kind of soft sometimes, and he just like sputs out really funny, insightful things.
A really good point too.
D, I have to tell you, there are some progressives who are treating this, and I'm going to be as kind as I can, who just don't understand how the effing world works. They're like, look, we just got kicked in the freaking balls, and so this is going to work out pretty well for us. It's like, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to be. I don't think that's beneficial. I don't think it's going to be beneficial in the short term or the long term.
Well, the Trump rally was in Austin on Saturday, and I was going to go down and protest and such, but I thought it'd be better if I just hung out in my garden, not go to jail or anything stupid.
Not going to jail. That would be probably wise, John.
I'm getting smarter.
Yeah. So Jesse Bear says, just a random online person. Oh, yeah. We have, extended family. Sure. I can see that. Well, that sucks, Jesse Beer. But yeah.
I remember reading about a protest at a Nixon event,
Mhm.
and some very liberal students wanted to go, and they came up with a brilliant idea. They went with signs that said things like "Students for Nixon,"
Yeah.
and they jumped up and down, not protesting him but praising him. But they were jumping up and down on the cars that had driven to see Nixon.
Right. Right.
So they were vandalizing with impunity because they were holding the right signs. No one arrested them.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
That's some insurgency stuff level right there.
yeah. What if we went with pro-Trump signs, John Hudson, and brought lots of fart spray with us?
I see a theme for this
If you
morning.
could, yeah, if you could mass produce it, so to speak, and send it flying.
Sure.
I just got to stay away from situations like that because I get fired up really fast. So I was best to be in my garden.
Yeah, that's why you gotta know how to stay out of trouble, John Hudson. For me, going to a women's rights rally in Boston is not like, oh, am I going to get arrested by the cops kind of an event, not even I didn't even see any protesters, like, right-wing protesters there. It was just a pretty friendly crowd overall.
Well, yeah, you see these people, you'll burn in hell with these signs and stuff, and I just driving down the street, I'll flip around several times and yell at them back. And, I try to stay off the roads even anymore.
Maybe we need to start a third political movement: zombies for Trump, or
well, I think that's
the brain dead for Trump.
I think
yes.
I think that's the majority of them out there, isn't it?
Yes, but to hit it on the nose, if you're brain dead, and you know what, vote for Trump.
That is right on the nose. You'd be correct about that.
Yeah.
So I think this time is working out. And I mean, I only have like a 1 day, but I think I'll be able to continue to do this properly at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I like the time.
Do you? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
Oh, gets me outside doing things earlier.
Oh, that's good.
Well, I like the heat. I was out there all day yesterday and all day Saturday. My tans are looking pretty damn good, though.
I am happy that you find joy in being outside. I'll say that.
Yes.
I like being outside in shade and not doing, and maybe the most amount of work is maybe taking a saunter or a walk or drinking.
There's something about being in the dirt to me that just makes me more human.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. There was a study that came out years ago about kids who lived on farms and kids who lived around animals, and they have better immune systems. They have more resilient immune systems because
and a lot more sex. They had a lot more sex.
Thank you, Blazing. I'm
Only
just glad
in Wyoming.
So,
I saw something too where the body's like a positive charge and just grounding out in the dirt, that it's like makes you more calm.
Well, I can see that. What I saw from the study is that because we evolved around animals, is that our immune systems get primed, especially from a young age, if we're around the dirtiness.
My animals are dirty.
Yeah. So if you have kids around animals, they're more likely to have a better functioning immune system, less likely to get asthma and other kind of diseases like that. Tobin is really trying to enter the stream, and we're gonna. Hey, there you are, Tobin. You're back. Victoire.
He's back in green.
I like the green. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's my internet is really being kind of crappy right now.
Is it connected to the Texas power grid? My camera isn't even working. That's why I'm not on.
You know, it's just anecdotal, but Australia's sort of been an advocate of let them play in the dirt for a very long time. We've known about the benefits of the immune system and stuff when you let kids do it. Like I grew up with the 5-second rule. I think it was like a 10-second rule at that point.
Right.
And I literally do not go to the doctor for years at a time. Like I'll think, shit, I've got to go just to see what's going on, just to have a checkup, because I don't get the cold or the flu. You know, the only things I ever suffer from is things like dehydration, which I get so easily. But as far as getting sick, I could say I'm just lucky, but I do think it has something to do with the way I grew up.
Sure.
Poorly and
Poorly.
in the dirt and bush and
eating French fries off the truck floor that are 30 days old.
No.
I ate a salami. I ate a salami from a friend's fridge, and he was like, "How was it?" And I was like, "It was a little dry." And he goes, "It was my dad's, and his dad hadn't lived there for over 2 years."
That's that sentimentality to it.
It was fine.
That's great, Sam.
There's something to be said about that, Sammy. Though for fact, it's like we don't refrigerate eggs because we don't wash them. There's when it comes out of the chicken's ass, there's like a membrane that keeps it from having to be refrigerated and to stay good. So the eggs get out on the counter for months, and they will not be bad.
So, John Hudson, do you mind if I just do a quick recap? You're advocating, and tell me if I'm wrong on this.
Farm fresh eggs, not the ones you buy from the store because they've been washed and not everything.
So you leave the eggs right. So the eggs out of the ass from the chicken, and then you leave them. You don't wash them, and then you just put them and you put them on a counter.
I got them in a basket in the kitchen.
Oh, in a basket. Okay.
Yeah, but no. Check it out. If they're farm fresh eggs like that, and
so
then
if they're fresh out of the cloaca, they're good.
Yeah, as long as they're not washed.
That makes so much sense. We get eggs from our friends when they're not. We don't wash them.
You don't wash
and
them.
They're so fresh and amazing.
And the good cholesterol you get off an organic egg like that. My chickens this weekend they got butternut squash and spinach, and then plus a host of different kinds of insects that I catch, and then we let them run too. So
this is interesting. Blazing Wizard Pope says Denmark legalized medical abortions on eugenic grounds in 1937. It was big.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It was big to do that. Yeah. A lot of countries were doing that to allow prevention of genetic, psychological, inheritable diseases. Yeah. That was wrong, obviously. But
the Nazis based some of their laws on eugenics on laws that were being practiced in Alberta at the time.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I know they took inspiration about
from wherever they could find it.
From what they could find, yeah, about how the states dealt with the native population too. Yeah,
isn't it funny the fine line that lies, like you were just saying about the eugenics, and like we advocate for the exact same thing, but because it's for a different reason, it makes it okay. So we advocate that. I guess the difference too is we're not advocating for the government to do it. We're advocating for a person's choice to do it. So
Yeah.
if a person was raped or their child was going to have a horrible quality of life or something, they can choose to end it. But is there much difference? Like,
Well, the thing is, when you have the government forcing people to do it, it's especially for their for eugenics reason. It's a hop, skip, and a jump. It's like what was going on in India or in South Korea about aborting female fetuses, and so
and also mandatory sterilization. The sort of
Right.
3 generations of idiots is enough, and suddenly you have the government controlling reproduction, which is a really
scary fucking
sinister
thing. Yeah.
On that note, everyone, I'm going to run. I'm going to cut out a little bit early because I have to. I am literally taking off my jacket and running to work.
Okay.
And so I'll see you tomorrow, same time, right?
It's been real.
Very good.
Same channel.
Shamala.
Shamala
Shamala.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Oh man, I got to hit the right button.
So, Sam, hey, what?
He didn't end the stream.
Hey, let's hijack the show.
Well, we are still live.
We
so-
are live. Hey, how are you today? This is the Sammy and Johnny show. We can talk about
God,
whatever we want.
So that was the wrong button, and now I'm going to end the project. There it is.